Just that.
What's up, everybody? Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so, and don't forget to check out that Facebook group page for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news such as scheduling for the channel and for the Yahoo Sports app. Keep pounding Fantasy Bowl League. We are starting to fill that league, so go check out the Facebook group page for the post for that, and you'll see where you can get involved in that. And if you like the intro that you see on the screen, go check out Lindara Ty on Instagram using her last name first in the search bar, Ty T-A-I dot Lindara Lindara for videos, panels, etc. to enhance your channel. If you are a content creator, tell her we sent you. Especially a Panthers content creator, we love those. Go send them over. Your channel over to her. She'll hook you up. Fair pricing, awesome to work with, and just a awesome person in general. And I don't even have to promote her anymore, but I am anyway because I love her work and I love what she does. I technically I wasn't even supposed to be promoting her for the last year, so but I like her work so much that I keep doing it, and her as well. So Lindara Tai on Instagram, go check her out. Alrighty, folks. First Panthers content of 2025. Training camp has officially begun for the 2025 season. Let's get it going. Let me get a key pounding in chat. We getting hype, baby. We getting hype. We got the first action of training camp on Twitter. We got a press conference to go through. And we got my man David, who I'm about to put on here as we react together to this stuff, man. Because this stuff is awesome. Let's go, baby. I'm fired up. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fired up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now,
First Panther jersey I bought in years.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Let me get you on screen so everybody can see this. Hold up. 1 second, buddy. They should be able to see it. I don't know.
If not, it's no biggie.
Right. I got my Hunter Renfrow jersey on myself. You know I got to represent my former Clemson Tiger buddy. Man, I'm ready. Brand new, fresh in the mail. About a week ago. Man, you already know I had to get something, man, for Hunter Renfrow. You already know. Alright, so we're going to try to get as much content going on here as we can. We got some action from Joe Person on Twitter and a few others. So we're going to go ahead and check this stuff out. So let's see. Where we start? Josie Jewell has officially been cut by us. So let's start with that conversation. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's the right move because he's had some concussion issues, and it's unfortunate because I like Jewel, but health is more important than football, so I respect it.
Yeah, and I feel like we had a lot of issues where the coaching staff would rush players out onto the field when they weren't fully healthy, during Ron Rivera's time.
Yes.
And the training staff got investigated for that, but really it was Ron. Just catering to the players and just saying, okay, the players always win, no matter how healthy you are, you give us the best chance to win. And some of these players would be like 50, 60% health, and just screwed up. And he would put them on the field. So it was enlightening to me when I was watching that press conference with you yesterday, that Dan said we're going to do things the right way. And I was very, very pleased with that. Because this is a new era. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not doing that stupid nonsense like we were doing before. We're being smarter now.
And I love the mentality of the coaching staff too. It's a different vibe from previous years. Seems like you got a game plan and a goal to accomplish. So
absolutely,
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Just ooh, we got news 14 hours ago. Julian Blackman, the Saints are trying to hunt him
Hmm.
when Tyrann Mathieu retired.
Huh.
Oh boy. We got some action going on there, man. How you feel about that one?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We put a few players on the pup list, which can be activated at any time. Bobby Brown the third was one of them. We signed Trey Swilling, the corner, as of today. Who is the son of the NFL great Pat Swilling, which I'm not familiar with. Maybe some other people are. That was before my time. But yeah, we got Tommy Trimble out there in the Gilligan hat. That's funny. I like it. I like it. Hey. Alright, so let's see what's going on with this throw here by Bryce Young. Alright. First footage of 2025. Let's get this going. Now notice his footwork here. Notice his plant foot. Alright, so he's going to be throwing out here to I can't get the number on this dude, but it's to the outside, on an out route. Good throw. Good clean throw. Good catch. Good catch after the run. So. Oh, okay. Rico.
Oh goodness.
Yep. That throw was to Rico. Alright, so I'm guessing this is. Alright, 44 was taking a snap and throwing. Look clean. Throwing 25 of the defense. So that was cool. Alright. Let's see what else we got. That was JJ Jansen taking those snaps. So now in this one, we've got Bryce to TJ Sanders. So let's take a look at this from the start. See what we're dealing with. Okay, no happy feet. Look at the feet plant right there. Yeah, he is on his toes. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, he's on his tippy toes," this, that, and the third. But look at this throw. Look at him plant his feet right before he threw that. I want you to watch that. Hold up. Alright. There's the plant foot. You see the difference? That's what I've been trying to highlight to people. And everybody wants to go, "Oh, Bryce is trying to see over his offensive line." Man, stop it. Stop it.
I got some news from ESPN. Oh goodness.
What you got for us?
This is kind of laughable in my opinion, but it says Frank Reich happy for Young after terrible NFL start.
I mean, I'm glad he's happy for us, but Frank Wright, you're irrelevant now, buddy. Like,
Exactly.
you're not a Panthers head coach anymore. Like, him and Matt Rule just can't stay out of the Panthers headlines, can they? They just gotta
Well, Matt
butt their
Rule.
heads and get involved in everything and keep their hand in the cookie jar, man. I'm trying to tell you, bro, you ain't even a part of this group anymore, man. Stop it.
Well, Matt Rule.
Neither one
I
of
think
y'all.
Matt Rule did back off. Matt Rule backed off, but I think Wright's starting his now.
Oh Lord. Neither one of y'all are involved with us no more, man. It's a new chapter, man. It's Dan and Dave. You just jealous because you ain't having
I,
that kind of success because when you were here.
I just hate to say it, but Frank, you didn't groom Bryce Young right, so
Mm-hmm.
and you have the audacity to say that. I don't know. Just my 2 cents.
That's a beautiful route right there by TJ. Or JT, my bad, JT. Beautiful route. Caught the ball. Alright, so next we got a tweet that says Damani Richardson has a couple of nice plays today. He picked off Bryce Young in a 7-on-7, making a good break in a deep ball intended for Hunter Renfrow. Ooh. He picked off my boy Hunter?
God.
Oh, snap. What'd I tell y'all? Y'all gotta start showing some respect to Damani Richardson, man. All I kept hearing from other people was like, oh, we need a safety, we need a safety, we need a safety. So are we not putting any faith in Damani Richardson? Are we not putting any faith in Murrig? You know, because that's what you're saying if you say that. Like, you can't have it both ways. This ain't Burger King on that. You can't have your burger both ways, bro. So, we got action from Damani Richardson here. You know?
Yeah, it says it wasn't nothing about Bryce Young either. It says that the Monty Richardson jumps in front of the route and picks off the ball in the end zone.
Nice.
That wasn't on Bryce. It was just a good play by Damani. So, yeah.
That's what I like to hear right there, because and I'm glad you pointed that out, because there's so many people that are going to say, oh, it was Bryce's fault, it's Bryce's fault, it's Bryce's fault, just because he threw the pass, you know, on target doesn't mean that, you know, the wide receiver is always going to catch the ball. Sometimes the safety can jump the route if they're smart enough and able to jump it. So it's not always the quarterback's fault. Sometimes the safety is just that good. So that's exciting right there.
Yeah, in a safety or corner, they can be in disguise. Even if it is a great pass, they can trick the quarterback. They can.
Right. If you're reading that quarterback's eyes, you can jump in front of a route. You can anticipate it. And again, it's not the quarterback's fault all the time. Sometimes it is. If they throw a bad ball, then yeah, that is the quarterback's fault. But if they're not throwing a bad ball, then that's all the safety. That's all the corner. Jumping the route. So I want to hear Trayvon Mowbray's name, man. That's what I want to hear next. Alright, so Matthew Wright in a nice showing, 4 of 5 on field goals on the skinny posts. You like hearing that? Big battle at kicker there. I've also heard that they're using a jug machine for the punter, since the punter is out for right now. Which works, because really in training camp all you need is the return game practice for right now, but eventually you'll want the punter to put in some work. Princely gets his hand on Bryce Young's arm and strips him of the ball. Dave Canales calls a quick end of practice. Have to think he's reminding guys to take care of their teammates. Ooh.
Oh, Prince. Oh.
So that's how practice is? We barely do
Damn,
anything, and he ends it like that. Hold up, hold up, man. No, 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 no. You can, no, 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 no. We only do practice for an hour. And that's how you end it. What is going on here? I don't like that. Um, let me check out Darren Gant because Darren Gant. Every one of these guys has different things, you know. So, um, oh man, I thought I saw a video that he posted. I guess not. I guess that was somebody else.
Dan Morgan got those dogs on it.
He got them dogs, bro. Who else do we want to check out on Twitter that may shed some light on what's going on here? Who do you normally follow?
I don't really have a favorite person I follow, honestly. I just try to keep up with the news.
Just throw me a couple of names, bro, and I'll check them out.
I had to think on that. I don't really have anybody in particular. I'll get back with you on that, if that's all right.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Let's do Sheena quick. Let's try Sheena. Or Sheena, sorry.
Hey, Corey, I got a
She's
question.
usually pretty good. Mm-hmm.
That cornerback we signed, Trey Swilling.
Mm-hmm.
It says he's the son of the NFL great Pat Swilling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is exactly?
No, I don't. That
Pat
was before
Swilling?
my time, unfortunately. So I'm not familiar with that name. Ooh, we got videos. Okay, Sheena. Let's go. She's always on par here, man. Let's see what we got.
Well, hey Corey, here's a good tid point here. That corner we signed,
Ooh!
he
What
was
the
actually
heck, bro?
he was actually inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Tell us more about him, man.
He is a linebacker. Let's see.
I feel like a lot of people aren't familiar with that name.
He played for the New Orleans Saints, Detroit Lions, and the Oakland Raiders. He had 5 Pro Bowl appearances in his NFL career. NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1991.
Okay.
And served from 2001 to 2004 as a member of the Louisiana House of Representatives.
Okay. Okay.
That's yeah. But he is in the Hall of Fame. And that is his son, so maybe that might be a hidden gem we have right there.
You never know. You never know. Man, watch this catch, though. God, look at them hands. He would have high for that joke, man. Oh, my God. Look at that height, dude. Okay, we see you. Who is that?
Oh crap, Corey! Here's another one. Here's another tidbit. Listen to this. The son of the former Saints legend Pat Swilling, his father ranks second among Saints defenders in all-time fumbles forced and 4th in career sacks for the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
And we got his son on our team right now. So.
And remind me again what his son plays?
He plays cornerback.
Okay. So I like the fact that this is going to be a healthy competition for number 3 spot on the corner roster right now, and number 4. Because we know who 1 and 2 are. There's no question about that. And I just showed you a video of Mike Jackson going up, high pointing a throw there. That was beautiful. I'm gonna show y'all one more time. Y'all need to see this athleticism by this dude, man. Mike Jack is legit. Look at this. Woo. Dude's got some hands, bro. Okay. What else we got? Slightly different 9 to 5 this season. What you got for us? Okay, there's that throw to Rico. In real time. There's a little hook route to T-Mac. Yup. Good stop and go, good turning, good hips, good footwork, good technique. That's what you want. Let's see about Leggett. Good throw. On target. Right where it's supposed to be. Watch the footwork. Alright, so he's on his tippy toes here, but right before he throws it, he will plant his feet. Right there. Did y'all catch it? Planted his feet. So, for anybody that keeps throwing that narrative out there, y'all need to stop that. Because that's not what he's doing. He ain't trying to steal over the line. He ain't trying to do all that nonsense y'all talking about. This dude just trying to throw the ball. That's it. Alright, what we got? Love all the different handshakes and all the... Yeah. That's awesome. Loving the energy, man. Loving the energy. Alright, so DeMonte Richardson was the first pick of training camp. Bryce Young looking for Hunter Renfrow deep left. So they got Hunter Renfrow running deep routes. Okay.
Wow.
John JT Sanders. That catch. Yep, seen that one. Matthew Wright only missed one field goal in the narrow uprights. Hard to tell the distance as the goalpost wasn't at the back of the end zone as normal. Okay. So we got a little bit more info from that. See, that's why you check out different people on Twitter, because different people are going to be posting different stuff. You kind of put the puzzle pieces together as you go along. We're going to do the presser in a minute, but I want to see anything else that shows up on Twitter first, because Twitter so far has been our main source.
I can't see the actual video, but is Bryce's footwork looking a lot better compared to last season?
Yeah, go on Sheena Quick's Twitter, and you'll see it.
Okay.
And Joe Person, I think, put it out there too. Okay. Yeah, Joe Person had the rest of the videos. Darren Gant doesn't have anything. Ab Scheffler's pretty much covering everybody, so Um, let's try Panthers on tap because I think Panthers on tap is an accredited one, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
should be.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow them too. She does so far. Every year she is on point with this stuff, man. Like, I like her content. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Blackman says, "Hey Dan Morgan, make me an offer, or I'm signing within your division." Oh snap!
Oh,
Uh oh.
make me an offer. I'm signing within your division. Oh.
Yeah, he was quoted as saying that. Oh my
And who was the?
god,
Who was that?
Joey
Who was
Blackman.
this? Oh.
Hmm.
Mm.
I like that, but I also don't like that because, and the reason I like that is because he's trying to call out Dan Morgan to make a move. You know,
Yeah.
like make a move or move on, and I respect that. You know, because if you're a player and you got an agent, you gotta eventually you could wait on these offers for a little bit, but at some point, the man wants to play football. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
He wants his money, and the agent wants his money too. So I mean, there's a major pressure push there, you know, to get something done. So
Mhm.
from a player perspective and from an agent perspective, I like it. But from Dan Morgan's perspective, he's going, uh oh, uh oh. Red alert, we gotta make a move here. But leave this dude alone. So, I mean, what do y'all think? Should we go after him or no? Well, what's the consensus here, y'all?
And what position does he play?
Safety.
Safety.
Yeah, because the Saints have a need right now after Tyrann Mathieu retired. So
This is a Pro Bowl safety we're talking about here, right?
yeah, mm,
I don't know.
man, I don't like that, bro. I like it, but I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm gonna send that to the group chat. They need to see that. Let's see what the consensus is in the group chat about that one. There we go. All right, so that news came through. Panthers on tap. Shout out to him. So let's see what else we got going on with this. Oh my God, they're signing him. This was 14 hours ago. I think they signed him. Oh my Lord. Oh, we got a video of Trey swelling. Trey Swilling in college, fighting like a punching out Irv Charles. So this dude's got like attitude problems. God, man. I mean, you gotta like the attitude in him, but at the same time, like, is that a good thing? So I'm just being real here. I don't know if that's the type of player we want. He probably not gonna make the roster, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Who knows though? J.C. Horn and Mike Jagger been hanging right by the quarterback drills this morning. Okay, so they're watching. They're watching and trying to learn. I like that. Good, gentlemen, good. Because the only way to learn Bryce Young is to watch him, you know, and to understand his mannerisms, how his footwork is, you know, in order to be able to read him as a corner, you know, you have to understand what he does and does not do. So, really, what they're doing is just learning at this point. They're learning each other. And it's going to make practices even more competitive as we go along. Now that we've seen that. So now the next step up is, how is Bryce going to adapt to that? You know, is he going to change up his technique, you know, to fake out corners? Is he going to change up his looks? You know, what is he going to do? You know, to get these corners off of him. You know, so he can get these balls to his wide receivers on 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. So, Bryce Young slings a dart over the middle to XL, who catches it in stride and picks up more. Non-contact, though, in 7s. Nice throw. Perfect spot. That's shout out Mike K. That posted that on Twitter. Alright, Richardson doing some work early. So, yeah. Are we respecting Richardson? Are we respecting him now? I mean, we drafted him for a reason. Y'all want to play games and say we need a safety. Oh, we need a safety. We need a safety. You know, and then Blackman shows up, you know, 14 hours ago and says, if we don't sign him, what we gonna do? Because the Saints going after him right now. Saints gave him an offer. So, I mean, do y'all like Blackman? How much do you like Blackman as a signee? Let's say the Saints hadn't signed him. Let's say he's still challenging Dan Morgan. Let's say that scenario happens. How much do y'all like Julian Blackman as a free agent signing? Like, would y'all be willing to push for Blackman even though we signed Morig and your boy Richardson that we drafted? How you feel about that? Sound off in the chat, man. I want to hear from y'all on that one. Because that's a big topic right there of discussion. And if you don't feel like talking, that's fine. You know, you don't have to. You know, some people just like watching the streams and just learning what's going on, you know. But some people like to react to that stuff, and I'm just trying to see who wants to get involved. You know what I mean? But I don't like the fact that Princely was the one that ended this camp day early. Did we end it early or did we end it on time? That's what I want to know. Because if we ended it on time and that just happened to be the last play, okay, cool. But if Dave Canales is trying to send a message and say, yeah, we got to respect our teammates, we got to stop practice completely because this cannot continue. On a strip fumble? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but these quarterbacks cannot be touched, with the red jersey on or whatever, specialty color jersey. They didn't say anything about strip fumbles. As far as I know in the rules, they don't say nothing about strip fumbles. And I mean, if that's a thing, then yeah, you got to show some respect to Prinsley for that strip fumble. But if they're not allowed to do that, then I can kind of see Dave Canales' perspective here. Because you don't want to abuse the rules here and be like, well, these guys can do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can kind of understand that to a degree, but that's why I want to know like what the actual rule is on that. Like, that's kind of a gray area as far as I'm concerned. Like, maybe somebody could clear that up. Because I know you're not allowed to tackle them. I know you're not allowed to touch them. But they didn't say anything about the ball. So I just want to be sure before I throw an opinion out there and say, okay, either this was a good thing or a bad thing. Because right now I'm just going to kind of say, okay, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Let me see what other Panthers Twitter people, are saying so we can piece some more info together. Maybe somebody will have a different video than we saw already. Okay. Okay, here's JC Horn. Cool. This is what I was hoping to see right here. This is different stuff. Alright, so JC Horn and Mike Jack doing little footwork drills here. Notice the hip turns. Notice the quickness there. It's not an official drill, I don't think. But it's still something to pay attention to. Because of how quick these guys react on the field. And their body movements. So, I do recommend keeping that in the regular drills if it isn't already there. And if it isn't, then they need to put that in, because one corner versus another corner, let's just see how the movement is, in the first few days. Then you can kind of take that out and say, okay, we're doing 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. But it's kind of like a warm-up drill in a way, just to warm these guys up with movement and footwork and whatnot. So I like that. I like that a lot. So we got the handshakes. Let's see. Here's the pick to A near interception by Rushawn. Mike Jack in coverage should have had the pick. The ball was right in his hands. Ooh. Who's he throwing it to? Who was he throwing that ball to? Alright, so we got T-Mac doing the footwork and hands drill. Look how quick those feet are. Look at that. That's what you came to see right there. If you're interested in T-Mac at all, that's what you came to see. Because all offseason you've been seeing like footwork drills and stuff like that, videos all over social media of how quickly he racks and how quick his body movement is. There it is right there on display for us. And his hands too. That's beautiful, man. And while we're talking about wide receivers, I've got my Hunter Renfrow jersey on right now. Got to represent my boy from Clemson. So, yeah, good hands, good movement. Let's try Edgar. Edgar, what you got for us, bro? We could try Scott Fowler. Scott Fowler is a big one. Yeah, Scott Fowler is a big one. Typically, he'll have some stuff out here. Oh, big news. Apparently, they're going to be doing a Superman series on the 2015 Carolina Panthers, which is awesome. I love that. Can't wait to watch that. Can't wait to react to that with you guys. That's really going to be fun. I love that. I don't want that. I'm not interested in what Scott Fowler wants to talk about Super Bowl 50 because that's way in the past. We're focused on here and now. It's 2025. It's a brand new season. It's a brand new 0-0 on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Brand new energy. Just for this year. You know? So, let's focus on this energy. Alright, so expanding on that knowledge of the Monty Richardson pick. We got this from Mike K. Bryce Young lost a deep ball to the left to Hunter Renfrow on the cusp of the end zone. Richardson jumps in front of the route and picks off the ball in the sevens. Alright, now my question is, was this ball underthrown? Or was it right on target and Damani Richardson just ate this one? Legit question. So, I mean, the more we learn about that interception, the more we can kind of piece together what's going on. But I wish I could go out there and see these guys, man. It frustrates me. But it is what it is, man. Who posted that? Let me see. I want to go back to that and Mike K. Okay. Alright, Mike K. What you got for us? You give us some quality stuff, I'll follow you. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. I'll give him a follow. He seems to be putting out some quality stuff. Let's see what we got here. Looks like the jug machine for the punter. Because the punter's injured right now. Okay, let's see what else we got. Ooh, finally. A little special teams action here. Okay. A little footwork action there. They adjust their bodies, to turn and catch the ball. I like that. That's a good drill. Because that really shows their mobility and, their mechanics, if you will. Alright, so let's see what else we got. Alright, we may have to check out these other two in a minute. Just to see what's going on with them. What they may have posted too. I might follow them too. We'll see. It all depends on how much content you guys put out. Whether I follow you or not. I don't get on Twitter much. Alright, so let's see this. Backtracking. Come up, catch the ball. And that's a common drill that you'll see in the NFL Combine too when they're testing these guys. Because that's something that's a basic drill that everybody has to do. The corner position, DB position. Is you have to be able to backtrack, turn, and catch the ball. And then run. Because that's an essential key piece in your game. Because you will be doing that during an NFL game. Ooh. See, that's what I want to see right there. Even if these players don't catch the ball, I want to see it. I want to see all of it. The caught balls, the missed balls, the bad mechanics, the good mechanics, all of it. That way I can get a full picture of who you are as a player. I want to see everything. So I'm glad they included that in the footage. What's up, Marcos Cash? Shout out to you, man. Good. That's what you want to see. That's what ideally that drill is supposed to look like. Good. Okay. I'm really glad that we're seeing this video in particular because I wanted to take a real close look at the corners because that's been a point of emphasis for me as far as where we are in the depth chart. And I've been pointing that out like all off season, so that we're not 100% there, at corner. So I'm watching that third string and fourth string battle very, very closely, and who ends up on practice squad. We know who the number 1 and number 2 guys are, but beyond that, that's what I'm watching. I'm watching technique. I'm watching footwork. I'm watching mechanics. How are you able to move your body and catch the ball and then run? And that drill is a very, very good example of what I'm looking for when it comes to that. So, shout out Mike K for that video right there. Thank you so much, man. Much respect for that. Ooh, I like this. He's even covering Austin Corbett. Okay, here we go. Austin Corbett gets first team center reps. 11 on 11 drills begin. How do y'all feel about that? Austin Corbett getting first reps. We got a close battle between him and Cade Mays, you know. But I feel like a healthy Austin Corbett should get first crack at it, in my opinion. You know, in the position battle. That's just my take on it. Because both of them did an excellent job, you know, when they were in during the regular season. You know, fully healthy. So let's continue. We're going through Twitter, you know, because that seems to be our main source of information right now. Since nothing's really being put out on YouTube. We don't have a live stream or anything like that to react to. So we're just kind of going by what we have, which is very limited. So it's kind of like the same thing we did in 2020, you know, when nobody could join because of COVID. So it's kind of the same protocols. Bryce Young lost the ball to his left to Hunter Renfrow. Jumps in front of the route to pick off the ball. Alright, so we don't have any new information versus everybody else that was posting about that. Nick Scott with a pass breakup in the flat on a throw from Andy Dalton to the new tight end Tyler Mayberry. Interesting. See what I tell you, Andy Dalton does not do well in training camp and preseason. I don't know what it is. But for some reason, he is just not hitting his passes. And that's a basic flat pass. And that's what I'm talking about, man, when I keep throwing him under the bus during training camp and preseason. If he would get that under control and get those throws under control, then we'd have something to really talk about, you know, with him being backup quarterback. You know, do I mind him being there, you know, because he produces in the regular season? Yeah, absolutely. I love him being there, you know, because he takes care of business when we get to regular season and comes in and does what he does. But he's a backup quarterback now. You got to remember that. You got to take that at face value. But if you're talking about Andy Dalton in training camp and preseason, garbage throws. And I personally witnessed those myself. Garbage throws. And this is another example of it. So, Andy, you got some work to do, buddy. You know, if you want my full 100% respect for you, you know, in preseason and training camp, fix that stuff. That's what I want to see you work on this year. Now, that's not to say I want that to degrade from regular season play. If you somehow manage to get that stuff figured out in training camp and preseason, I don't want your play level to decline during regular season. So if that should happen, you know, we're better off just the way we are. You know what I'm saying? Just leave it alone. But I'd rather not upset the balance. But if you can do both, let's do both. It's up to you, Andy. You gotta make these changes yourself, buddy. Nobody else is gonna do it for you. But if you want people to have better competition at wide receiver, tight end, etc., running back, you know, pick up the pace. Alright, so Bryce Young slings a dart over the middle of the XL, catches in stride. Yeah, we saw the video on that. Matthew Wright, we saw that too. Let's see. I would not want to be a DB in space with Austin Corbett running in space. I'll say that. So he blew up a corner in space? Dang, man. Oh, sheesh. I mean, you got to consider how big Austin Corbett is, too. Let's get the official measurement on him. Because I want to know. Because this dude is freaking huge. He ain't lying, though. I've seen him in person. Yeah. 6'4", 305. That's a big dude. He ain't lying. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be a DB out in space either. With that coming at you, it's like a doggone freight train coming at you. God. Alright. But yeah, everybody's saying Princely into the y'all forgive me, I'm not a morning person. Blazed around the corner and knocked the ball at a launch point. Alright. So again, like, is that a legal thing that you can do? Can you do that? Or do you have to let him throw it? Is it a touch thing where you have to make sure that the quarterback is touched and that counts as a sack? Or can you actually knock the ball down? There's no rule against that as far as I know. As long as you're only touching the ball. But I mean, training camps have rules for a reason, for stuff like this. So you don't have injuries and stuff like that happen to the quarterback way too early. That's why they're wearing those extra shirts and different colored shirts. For people wondering about that don't know, that are new to football, and why people do stuff like that because some people are, we got people from Canada and Australia and all kinds of other places that aren't familiar with how this stuff works. So okay. Protecting teammates. So there was a humongous conversation about protecting teammates. Did he actually try to sack him though, physically? Or was he going for the ball? See, we don't have enough information to go on here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, if we had enough information, I can tell you, like, definitively, okay, Princely was at fault, or he was not at fault, for what he did. So I'm not going to speculate. Maybe they'll get into that with the press conference. I don't know. But Dave Canal says Damani Richardson is growing from the most from year 1 to year 2 in his communication with the rest of the defense. He's using voice and finding comfort in the defense. Good. That's what I like to hear right there. That's what you like to hear. Oh, but we need a safety. We need a safety. We need a safety. Okay. But then you read that. Are we not putting faith in Damani? You have to ask the question. At this point. If you want Blackman, you have to answer that question. You cannot tiptoe around it. You cannot avoid it. You cannot change the subject or act like the question never existed. You got to address it. It's the gigantic elephant in the room. And I've been saying that for about a month now. Okay. Marcos Cash says, from what Canales said at the presser, was that Princely pretty much popped Bryce a little too hard. Okay, in that case, yes, Princely would be at fault, for popping him too hard. Then in that case, yes, I fully endorse what Dave Canales did, and you got to get that under control, and let's just focus. You know what I mean? So, thank you for that information, Marcos Cash, because that really shined a light on what was going on there. Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the presser yet. So, sounds like Bobby Brown and Sam Martin are already kind of making progress with their hamstring injuries on NFL. Canales seems to be less optimistic for a quick return for Tommy Tremble. All right, so that's the update on that. Bryce said he notices an etiquette with NFL practice, but he appreciated Princely's competitiveness in the first training camp practice. Well said, Bryce. Well said. That is how you pump up your teammates while also addressing the problem. In a healthy way. Well said, Bryce. I like that. Good response. Christian Resbloom was more worried about Josie Jewell as a human than training camp competition. He said, hopefully they'll be able to play together down the road, but he says Jewell's situation is bigger than football. True. True, it is. When you're dealing with concussions, that is no joke, man. That's a whole new ball game and a whole new discussion. Versus, maybe a hamstring injury, something like that, But when you get into ACL tears, you get into concussions, that's a whole new conversation. You got to be extra careful with this stuff. And you can't just sit there and just go, oh, well, they'll be fine. The after effects aren't that bad. Ron Rivera. Like, really? Ron was the as much as I loved Ron Rivera, this was one of the downfalls of Ron. And this is why his training staff got investigated when it was really his fault. It's because he was so focused on winning and saving his job that he wasn't even focused on the player's health, which is exactly what you need to win, because availability is the best ability to win. So, not everybody's built like Luke Kuechly, and not everybody's built like Thomas Davis. Not everybody's built, to withstand that kind of injury and come back and play well. So you get the after effects of concussions and stuff like that. That is not something you play around with. So I absolutely agree with the decision that Josie made himself, to seek medical attention and get himself, healthy again before he comes back. And he can absolutely come back, by the way. There's an opening, so let's hope that happens, because he was a really good help to us. I wouldn't say he's one of the major factors of the run defense, but he was definitely helpful. Let's put it that way. If I had to put a name on who I think was the leading run stopper, I would have to say Trevin Wallace. Because Trevin Wallace was able to go side to side, and shut down these outside sweeps and big runs on the outside. Nobody else had that kind of speed and agility. Linebacker. So, and he was actually able to physically fill some of these gaps, when he was healthy. But Josie Jewell helped out a lot too, up the middle. So we were able to do a lot, when both of them were healthy and on the field together. The problem is, it's still not nearly enough because the D line had a lot of problems, without Derek Brown on it. You add in Derek Brown, we may be middle of the pack, even with all the pieces that we picked up. So that's what I'm hoping for is we get back to maybe a 15th ranked run defensive stopping at this point. And I hate to try to put a range on that because I don't know what Evero is doing, run defense wise. It's kind of all over the place with his defense because we've been playing musical chairs with these players, and I don't know what he's doing. He's basically trying to save face at this point because he's on a hot seat. So you may see a lot of desperation packages that you wouldn't normally see from him this year, just to save his job. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the defense isn't going to be spectacular this year by any means. But hopefully the offense can carry us, and we can get some wins. That's what I'm hoping for. It'll take a couple games for the offense to settle in, but once they do, you'll start seeing, the confidence rise in all these players, and they'll start doing what they need to get done, to win. And the schedule allows for that too, which I'm very thankful the schedule is what it looks like right now for that. Shout out Marcus Couch. He says, I get it though. A rookie on his first ever training camp probably got too excited. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And that's exactly what Bryce was saying too. It's like, I love the enthusiasm, but we got to calm it down a little. But, and y'all remember when Cam and Josh Norman got into it back in the day? It's like, we love the enthusiasm, but y'all gotta, take it down a notch. We trying to get stuff done in training camp, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, we love the enthusiasm. We love the energy. We love the passion. Keep that rolling, man. That's what you need to take out of it and push with. As you prepare for the regular season. Marco says, I hope the defense does better than we expected so Evero can get hired elsewhere. Yeah, agreed. I don't see him keeping a job after this year regardless. Whether we get back up to 15th rank or not, So, honestly, and this is a test for Dan and Dave too. Are we done with the buddy system of coaches? Or are we actually trying to double down and find success? So it's a test for them as well. What are they going to do when it hits the fan? So, and in case you missed it, guys, Blackman is signing with the Saints because Dan didn't make a move. So, that's another thing that we're following right now. We're watching very, very closely because Tyrann Mathieu retired. So, in case you're just joining us and didn't know that, that's a major piece of news right there. Found strength in numbers. Analytics department helped Dan Morgan make some major decisions. Okay. We're going to go over the presser in a few minutes, but I'm just trying to make sure I cover all my bases on Twitter first. Who else did he say to follow? Let's see. I just want to make sure we get everybody. So, what you got for us? Okay, we got a couple videos. Ooh. Mm, 14. Okay. That's just them walking on the field. Here we go. Alright, we already saw that one. So that's the corner drill. The secondary drill. Again, watch the hip swing there. And the footwork. That's what I wanted to look at. XL caught that ball in traffic. Okay. Practice leading there. Yeah. Look, Alex doesn't have really anything for us except for just these videos at the moment. But if I see more, then I'll follow him. Let's try Shane. He suggested Shane, so we'll try Shane. You know, I'm all about trying to support media people that deserve to be paid attention to, you know, that are putting out good stuff. You know, so if we get some good people that can help us out here, I'm down. You know, to follow. Yeah, we got nothing on Shane. Dang. Is that it though? Is that it? Yeah, because that's a Philly one. That's the Eagles guy. All right, so I think we've covered everybody that we can cover. Unless somebody else has got someone for me to look at on Twitter. But I think we're gonna mainly follow Mike K here and Sheena, because those two, along with Joe Person, seem to really be on target with a lot of this stuff, you know, that comes out. Yeah, not Joe Person, but yeah, Joe Person, because Darren Gant didn't have anything this time around. But Mike K seems to have the most content out here so far. So if you're not following him on Twitter, go check him out. Go follow him, and you'll see all these videos that I'm looking at right now, and all these posts, and he'll have more detailed information, you know, and Sheena as well. Yeah, Sheena's got really detailed tweets as well. That's been consistent pretty much every year. When I've been out there myself, like, I will give you the information firsthand, you know. You know, based on what I've seen, what I've observed, and I'm a lot more detailed than both of them, because I know what to look for, and I know what to point out to you guys, and why. But as far as like sports reporters, sure, let's follow them and let's go with that, because that's the best we got right now. Yeah, Sheena Quick. So if you're looking for it on Twitter, it's Sheena Quick. Okay? Sheena Quick. And Mike K, spelled Kaye. So if you're looking for it, there you go. I hate that fans cannot attend training camp this year and next year. Almost all the Panthers content creators are going live at camp last year. Yeah, exactly. They do every year. and it's a joy to do that. I don't go live at camp. I go live after camp because I collect my notes during camp so I don't miss anything. You know. Plus, I want to respect the guidelines that they put in. You know, so that my content doesn't get blocked or content hit. For any reason. I always respect the rules, guys. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to get kicked out and I don't want to get in trouble with these people. You know what I mean? When I'm just trying to feed you guys as much info as I can give you. But I'm very, very good at observing detailed things. All right. Since I've got something else going on in just a little bit, I'm going to try to get this press conference out of the way real quick, and then we'll go from there. We'll end it there for the day because that's really all we've got anyway. I may need to step out for a second, to address something.
Elevates the. It was great to get back out on the field, continue what we.
So just FYI, if I do take a break for a minute or two, that's why. I gotta take this phone call. Hold on, guys. All right, sorry about that. Important phone call. I am ready to go. Let's see this press conference. Let's see what we're dealing with. Shout out to the Panthers, Carolina Panthers guy, CPG. If you're not subbed to him, go get yourself a sub on his channel. Also, go sub to Blitzball Champ. He is one of our buddies, and he has been helping us out all year. If you aren't subbed to him, go give him some love. There's a lot of other Panthers YouTubers out there as well that deserve some attention and love. Carolina Blue Podcast, Bleeding Blue Podcast, Carolina. Yeah, it's Carolina Bleeding Blue Podcast. Let me slow that down so I get that right. I talk fast sometimes, so my apologies. But yeah, go give him a sub. He helps us out. Give him some likes on his streams. He hasn't been around for a little bit here, but every once in a while you'll see him jump into the streams or whatnot, for reactions, or in-game reactions during the season. Also, be sure to check out C3 Podcast if you haven't done that already. 2020 is another good one. Shellytron, go check him out. You're not just limited to one channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, go sub to all these people, man. Because they're all awesome people. And I rock with them, man. I definitely rock with them. Robstar Report, go check him out too. But let's get into this, man. Let's get into this.
We've been working on, just some of the carryover from the spring, talking to the guys. Biggest difference is just, I think, the collective care of the units, talking, the communication, a lot of talking out there. Defense was hard to go against today. Just a lot of just communication, lining up properly, attacking the ball. So a really good day there. Offensively,
All right, so his focus defensively was communication. Okay, cool.
we got going a little bit too. But defense made it hard throwing the ball down the field a little bit sometimes, which is good, which is what we expect.
Good.
Also, just the focus of this group. It's a very serious, very focused group. They're intent on just continuing to come together. We've talked about that collectively. Just how quickly can we come together and play football as one?
Yeah.
And that's really the goal right now of training camp. And I think the last part of it is the competition that I'm looking for in practice. The competition within each position group, which we'll be able to get into here a little bit.
I'm looking for that early as well. If I see that early as well, the earlier the better. That's going to make me happy. The competition between the different positions.
To see guys battling all the way through the depth, for places on this team is
Right.
really exciting to me, and it elevates the practice. It elevates the energy. It elevates the intentionality, and guys just really, trying to find their best and making each other better as a result of that, which is going to be our goal. So I'm excited about just getting it started off.
Aside, did you have to remind Princely and everybody that you got to take care of teammates after that last play where you got his hand on Bryce?
Absolutely, a really close.
Bro. Duh. You didn't see what happened? You didn't see like 5 other people tweeting that as well before you asked that question? Derp. Dumb question. Next.
A great rush. Exactly why he's here. Is to be
Same
able to
dude every
passer
time.
And, just came really tight around that corner and kind of nicked Bryce, on the arm right there. The ball comes out, and that's really not what we want to see. I want to see that first part of it, though, and just the great bend and flexibility and power that he has in his rushes. So even some of the veteran guys would come up at the end, and they're like, hey, don't back off of that. Just be smart at the top, okay? This is all of us. We got to take care of each other at that moment. Those decisions down the field, the decisions in the pocket. So, yeah, that's something that we had to talk about.
Notice how he redirected that whole narrative towards Princely's abilities. Good. That's what the focus needs to be on. Not the fact that he was bad. He hit him too hard or whatever, The focus should be on what are his abilities. Let's continue.
How would you handle that though? When you know guys are trying to make a play and trying to do something, but not trying to do too much.
With a lot of grace, with a lot of understanding. This is a violent sport, a violent game. These guys are getting in their stances. They've been working on all their pass rush techniques all summer. They go through a great individual, and they're smacking the crap out of the bag, which we have the ball kind of positioned in a place to attack the elbow of the quarterback. And so, it's that hardwired training, and you have to just be able to have the presence of mind right there in those moments. So.
Proud we'll see you walking out here for your second training camp versus last year when you just
Shout out David Scrooge. He says it sounds like a winning mentality to me. Facts.
know a whole lot.
It feels great. I just honestly, it really starts with the players. I think it's more just they understand the expectation of what a great practice looks like for us from start to finish. The transition in between, everybody's moving around. That when you're not in, you're talking football, and all those things are happening, And so it feels a lot different knowing that I have a group of leaders that have my back, and that understand the expectation that myself and the coaching staff is looking for.
You bring up the leaders, Josie Jewell,
Yeah.
got released. How is that situation handled from your perspective?
Yeah.
How long did you kind of know that this could be a possibility? And then also, what was the conversation like yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, we had to adhere to the normal concussion protocol, which we did. We did all that. And first, to talk about Josie, you talk about a leader. Guy didn't say a lot. When he talked, people listen. The toughness, the character, the aggressive style of play, always making plays on the ball. Throughout his career, the reason why we brought him here, and I think for me as a first-year head coach last year, to have somebody that I could point to who really exemplifies the type of effort, the type of physicality, the character. He's a no-nonsense guy. He wants guys to just look at the truth of what it was, get to the bottom of it, and fix it. And he was always at the heart of those conversations. So it's a big loss, definitely for us from that standpoint. And then as far as the rest of it, we just kind of had to take it at at Josie's pace and with all the specialists that were working with him, Dan and Brant, worked with the agent and talked to them, and we felt like this was the best outcome right now. With the first, and most important thing for Josie is getting healthy, and getting him to a place where he can make that sound decision on playing football, which he wants to do, or whatever is after that. So I'm proud of the fact that we just had upfront conversations throughout the whole time, and that's what I appreciated about the interaction.
Follow up on that. When we talked to you in March, you were kind of glowing about the signing of Roseboom.
Yeah.
You obviously drafted Trevin. Yep. What's the outlook for those two guys as you head into this second summer?
It's great opportunities for that whole group. You start with those guys. Christian obviously had like 136 tackles or something last year, played on a playoff defense. Really played probably the best year of his career, last year. And for us to be able to have him here is huge. But you talk about a guy like Claude Charalis, Jacoby Winman, Bam Martin Scott, CV, Nomura coming in from Fresno State, and then John Radigan. It's a really talented young group. They're very athletic. They got aggressiveness to the style of play. They fit what we're looking for. So it's a great opportunity for those guys.
Know about Bryce.
Oh, good. Charlotte Vaughn posted footage. Okay. Noted.
I don't know that I see anything new necessarily.
He is accredited, so
my expectation for Bryce is to lead this team, which he never stopped doing all throughout last year, even with the challenges that it presented. But he just came right back in, and from the moment we went out there for center quarterback exchange, it's like his familiarity with the system, his command of everything is just like we just picked up where we left off in the spring, to be able to push our concepts and our systems forward, which is really the goal is can we master this so we can add little nuances. And so I feel like, coming in with the type of rhythm and the type of command gives us a chance to continue to grow those things.
Right. Does that give you being in the second year now of this system?
Yeah, it just really, having guys being in the system now for a while just gives us a chance to continue to push on the most important parts of it, the effort part of what we're trying to get. A lot of times when you have a bunch of people thinking, the whole thing kind of slows down a little. It's very mechanical, very methodical. And what I'm feeling out here are guys who understand what we're doing, and I can always tell by the speed of play. The faster we're playing, the more I know they understand what we're doing and where they need to be on any given, whether it's defense, offense, or special teams. So I really feel that jump with this whole group.
I noticed that as well when I was observing at camps too. And he's exactly right. The speed of play, is very important.
Bryce, and how does he take it?
Honestly, we look at like short-term goals. We look at just the command, like we talked about, owning the whole system, and I think really just allowing us to have the nuances, the complements of all the different things. As we master a concept, there are things and answers that come off of it. So it's how quickly can we get to that point as a group, and then we can continue to just push the envelope and find new things.
Dave, Damani had that pick earlier in practice. How much has he kind of grown from last year coming in as an undrafted guy to being a guy who's competing for a starting job?
He's got a knack for the ball. It started last year, so he shows up again on the first day with an interception on a ball that was slightly overthrown there, and he went from the middle of the field and made a great play on that.
Love
but
that.
I think, again, it's kind of goes to the same thing. It's watching him communicate. I think if you're asking for one specific thing, it's watching him talk. He's got to be connected with the corner, the nickel, the calls that are coming with motions and all those things. And I think that's probably the biggest growth that I see from Damani is his level of comfort in our system to be able to talk loudly. I think sometimes the guys kind of, sheepishly will whisper something out there, but when you can hear them loud and they own it and they're demonstrative, that they really have grown, to the understanding of the concepts.
Right.
Give us updates on the timeline with Tommy and Bobby and Sam.
Yeah, Tommy. So Tommy's gonna have to progress week to week for us. He's doing great. I want to say he's ahead of schedule, but I just know we're gonna just take this thing as it comes. But right now he's making great strides. He looks strong in his rehab and all that. So I'm not sure exactly timeline-wise. I wouldn't say Tommy's going to be back soon, like within the next couple weeks. But, I think 3 or 4 weeks or something like that as we evaluate it could potentially be there. And then Bobby got imaging and all the things. It's a hamstring. He did some stuff. I saw him out today before practice. He was down there running, changing direction already. So he's already starting on a pretty good curve. So I hope to get him back pretty soon.
Good.
Sam Martin's kind of in the same world that way, you know. So it was something we have to be precautionary about. We don't want to throw him back out there. They didn't clear for us right away. So, but I think he's probably on a similar timeline.
Finally won him.
Yeah.
Did a lot today.
Yeah, we're just honestly being smart with DJ. You know, he's had a couple of different things. Obviously, he came in with the quad injury, and so we're just having to make sure
I didn't know about that.
That we're able to progress him into camp the right way. So we're going to be smart about DJ. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing.
What about
We'll
Dan?
do a couple more.
Yeah, Dan's progressing back from a calf. So again, I don't know exactly the specific timeline for Dan, but he is doing some on-ground stuff. I wouldn't say he's at the same markers as Bobby and Sam, but I think he's probably right behind them there. So we hope to get Dan back in there.
Successful season look like this season?
Yeah, just weekly growth, you know, and right now our focus is having a great camp. You know, for me, it's owning the system and working ourselves into condition to where we can be ready to play week one. That's the focus, you know, and I think with this group, you know, with just talking to the guys in the team meeting, with the group that we've brought together, how quickly can we play together? How quickly can we communicate and show that style of football that we want to put out there, you know? And I think that the sky's the limit for this group. You know, I think that this is going to be a very competitive team. I don't think people are going to want to play us by the style of football that we play. I'm expecting that. My expectations are really high for this group. They are every year, you know, and we're going to shoot for as good as we can get. My language to the group is I want to make sure we maximize the talent in this room. That'll take us as far as we need to go, but that's going to be our focus.
Ooh, maximize the talent to take us as far as we can go. I like that. I like that. That's good mentality right there. That's going to take us a long way, yo.
And communication in the secondary. How quickly has Trayvon kind of become a voice back there for all of those guys?
Yeah, he's a veteran player.
There
he
we
cares.
go.
You know, if he's not on the field, he's standing right next to Ronaldo Hill, our safeties coach, and they're talking about concepts that just happened. They're talking about run fits. They're talking about adjustments, and he's just so into it, you know. And I can't talk about him without talking about Turk Wharton. You know, the guy's just, when he's out there, he's the Energizer Bunny, and when he's on the side, he's always talking technique, hand placement, footwork, with the veteran guy, with the young guy, and it's just the guys that we love who are just, they have a passion for football, a passion for their craft, and I'm really excited.
That's what you love to see right there.
Do you feel that's right?
That's what I was hoping for. Because when you got people like that talking technique, hand, stuff like that, you know, it's like, it's going to help everybody. Everybody. So, very good. That energy and that communication, that's what we're looking for. All of this is healthy things that contribute to good competition and good success down the road.
Sure to bring the energy this year or produce energy out on the field than you did a year ago?
I wouldn't say that. I think my mentality is to just try to make sure that in the meeting, when we get our day started, that we have the right mindset, that our focus is in the right place. Today is the most
Another
important
dumb
day we have.
question
It's
by
the
Joe
only one we have.
Person.
Can we maximize these days, you know, and especially with the
yeah, let's
acclimation
move
period,
on.
you know, as we ramp up these practices, when we start now, the opportunities are fewer and far between, so we have to maximize the work. We have to maximize the individual drills, the 7-on-7 periods, the team periods, which are a lot shorter right now. When you're in there, maximum effort. Let's get ourselves into game
Maximum
shape. You know, the way to
effort.
play fast is to play
Love
fast
that.
out here on the field. Practice is everything, and so
Yes.
my job is to just keep those guys locked into that mentality. I know it gets more challenging as we get deeper into camp, you know. So right now, everyone's excited, everyone's fired up, and they feel great, you know. And the goal for them is to have that recovery so they can keep playing at full speed, so we can keep throwing practices like we did today.
Excellent response. You know, and that's exactly what you want to hear from your head coach, right there. That right there. I'm telling you, man. How long has it been since we have had a head coach that talks like that? Oh, man, we've been needing this. I don't even know how to tell you how long we've been needing this as a franchise. It is like a breath of fresh air. It seriously is.
All right. Thank you.
Man. Excellent presser, Dave. Excellent. Y'all want to hear from the players, or should we just keep this going? What we got? Nah, I'm good. I got what I wanted out of that. If y'all want to watch all the pressers, you want me to react to them, let me know. Like, I mainly just focused on the head coach and the GM. Because the head coach and the GM are the ones that give me the most information. And on what I need to know. You know, in order to understand what's going on. Now, if there's a certain situation that's going on, you know, that we need to pay close attention to, and the Princely one does not qualify for that. But typically, I will pay attention to pressers from those people specifically if something pops up. But otherwise, I'm not interested. You said Charlotte Vibe posted some stuff. Okay, let's see. CV, right? I normally haven't paid attention to his content for a little bit, but every once in a while he'll put out something good. He posted one video. Okay, just warm up throws. Let me mute that. Let's see what you got. Anything interesting? And we'll probably wrap up with this. Because I don't think there's anything else. Plus, I've got stuff to do, so. Okay, watching Andy's footwork. He's getting a little bit flitzy there. Gotta watch those feet. Look how quick that release is. Look at that. As soon as he catches the ball. Quick release. Very nice. Okay, so far so good. Throw and catch, I mean, Andy looks alright. You know, it's not his technique. So I don't know what's going on with Andy, you know, in training camp and preseason to where he just can't throw like he does in regular season. I'm trying to figure it out. Because the technique looks fine. The footwork looks fine. I don't see anything where... Why did it turn the sound back on? But yeah, look at the footwork here. He takes that extra step or two, and that's what people are talking about. Like that's getting too happy feet. You know what I mean? So you got to work on that. But you know, overall, like I don't see a problem here. You're just pitching and throwing, you know. So here you can kind of do whatever you want, you know, and it works. Okay, first look at number 16 there. And I think it's just repeating at this point. Yeah, it's just repeating at this point. Okay. Nothing really new here. But I just figured I would cover it anyway. Shout out Charlotte Vibe. You know, I still got respect for the man, you know. So, Panthers content creators, man, we're all family. When you start acting like it, bro. You know, that's what I'm saying, man. When you start acting like it. And most of us do. So. But we're a family, man. And what brings us together is Panthers football. Always. No matter what is going on, no matter what beefs we got going on with each other, it's always Panthers football that brings us back together. So. And I think unity is the main theme from today and communication. So. I'm going to end with that. If there's anything else, we'll cover it tomorrow in day 2. Thank you guys so much.